We always like this time of the week, Friday morning, 9 o'clock. We get a half hour in studio with our Feature Friday guest. And this week it is Brad Stevens. You watch him every night on KCTV5. And he's here not only because we like talking to Brad, but his longtime co-anchor and co-worker of 20 years, Carolyn Long, is set to retire from KCTV5 coming up next Friday. And Carolyn is actually going downtown right now. Right. She is being honored by the city council? So
Jackson
basically,
County Legislature.
Oh, the Jackson County Legislature.
Jackson County Legislature at 10 a.m. So an hour from now, she's going to be getting some kind of, recognition from the Jackson County Legislature for her 28 years of not only just being a broadcaster here in Kansas City for 28 years, but I think what really sets Carolyn apart from others who do this same thing and retire at the end of their career, Carolyn, truly, her legacy of what she's done for the local charities in town. Mm-hmm. She's emceed and hosted and supported, an unbelievable number of events. Every weekend she's doing something. So, I think that's why she's being recognized. There's a number of different things. And the other thing is she's just a cool person, too.
Oh,
on top
great.
of that,
she's
just cool.
Now, will Frank White be there? Because no one's seen the guy in months. So there's a news story there.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? We've got several of my colleagues from KCTV5 are going to be down there. So I will find out.
I hope one of them's a cameraman who could actually see Frank in the flesh if he shows up to this big shindig with Carolyn.
Well, that could be breaking news.
That would be breaking news. It would be. And it will overshadow Carolyn's big goodbye.
Could be one of her biggest stories.
Yes. It could be. So you've worked with her, Brad. You've been here, 22 years?
20 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she's been here 28 years. She started in 1996. She's been my co-anchor for the last 5 years. And then Carolyn has co-anchored she's anchored every single show. The noon show, the morning show, the 4 o'clock show, the 3:30 show, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock. She's done it all. Mm-hmm. Reported, done it all. So, but what I always tell people is our desks sit right next to each other. Mm-hmm. So for 20 years, of course, Carolyn and I talk about work and what's going on and this story and that. But what anyone who meets Carolyn knows that when you meet her, you've met her and worked with her a little bit. It's such a cliche to say you feel like you've met a friend on the first time, but you kind of feel like Carolyn. You meet her once, and she is a friend, and she does care about you and ask about you. So I always tell people I will miss working with her, but what I'll really miss, seriously, this is going to sound corny, but I'll just miss sitting next to her every day and not talking about work, but talking about family and what you do this weekend and where you're going and what's the latest restaurant you've been to. And she's always into the latest, newest trends and fads. And so I keep up, on her social media and popular culture through Carolyn Long.
There you go.
Seriously, we're going to miss her. Next Friday is her last day.
So what will her last broadcast be?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Yep, 5 o'clock
Friday.
newscast. That's the day on that. That's going to be a big day. We'll devote a lot of that newscast to saying goodbye to Carolyn. I've put together a really cool story about just encapsulating her entire career and all the things she's done. And wow, when I was putting that together, going back and looking at all the old video of her and Ann Peterson working together, Ann Peterson, the former great legendary anchor for KCTV5. Next Wednesday, I just talked to Ann a couple of days ago, interviewed her about working with Carolyn and, what's it like for a legendary anchor like Ann Peterson, who, as you know, inducted into the Missouri Broadcasters
Yeah, that was
Hall
last
of Fame.
year,
That was
right?
just last year.
Yeah,
just last year, a year ago. And, she talks about how when she first met Carolyn, she was just like, I can't put a finger on it, but there's something about her. And she was like, I think you're going to do okay in this industry. And 28 years later, I think we have the answer to that. Yeah, Carolyn did okay in this industry.
Yeah, she did 28 years. My goodness. And
At the same station.
And calling her own shot on when
Seriously.
to leave. How many people get to walk on their own terms in this business?
Okay, so everybody always asks me, because TV's a rough business, just like radio. Mm-hmm. It's a rough business. And most people do not get to leave on their own terms. So people always be like, hey, so Carolyn's retiring. What really happened?
Yeah.
Here's all you need to know about that. Her farewell party, which is next Saturday, is being held at KCTV5. So, I mean, that just goes to show you her bosses love her. They offered her another contract to stay. She turned it down and said, you know what? She's got a unique situation. Her husband, Dave, great guy, was the number 2 guy at the Kansas City airport for years and years and years and years and years. Took an early retirement and then started a new career in Florida, staying in the aviation business. And so they've, they're leading a split life right now. She's stayed in Kansas City and he's in Florida. And they've been doing that for about 3 years. So she finally just said, "What? Come on, what am I doing? What am I doing? I need you." And so, she was flying to Florida on the weekends, and he was flying to Kansas City on the weekends. And so, she just said, "You know what? I've done this for 28 years. It's time for me." So she made the decision, and so she made that was over a year ago that she announced her retirement. So it's been it's been quite a ride for her. And wow,
that's amazing. I mean, we did that. Kate and I did that, but we were in our early 20s doing that. I don't want to be doing that.
Right.
If
that's
there's
what
no
she
reason
said.
to doing it, if you're set financially, if everything's good on that front, I mean, go enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
And
for
that's
her.
what she's going to do.
That's amazing. Florida's the place to be. It's hopping. She's going to have a great winter. She's not going to miss these winters after. She's probably sitting here in January when it was minus 20 saying, what am I doing right now? Get me to Florida.
She'll be laughing at it. She'll be texting you, "Hey, Stevens, check this picture out from the beach."
Yeah, exactly. You'll be reporting on a winter snowstorm, and she'll be trolling you from Florida.
She has been she gets getting recognized by the Jackson County Legislature this morning. Last Sunday, she sat in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat. She was the honoree for that. She invited me I didn't know this, but when you're the Buck O'Neill legacy seat honoree, you get 5. The Royals give you 5 seats. So she gave 1 seat to the Ronnie Hawkins, our nightside executive producer at KCTV5. He helped kind of facilitate all that through the Royals. And then her husband, Dave, was sitting right next to her. And then she invited me and my wife to sit next to her. So sitting next to the Buck O'Neill legacies, I wasn't in the seat, but I was sitting next to it. And oh my gosh, how cool was that?
Looks like a good seat. One of the best seats in the house.
Dude, to watch the movement on the ball for the pitchers was just unbelievable. It was so cool. And it was a great day. We beat the Cardinals. It was awesome. So much fun. And she's throwing out the first pitch next Tuesday.
Is she really?
For the Monarchs.
Oh.
So, Carolyn's having quite the week.
She could get 2 Frank White appearances in a week.
More breaking news. It could be 2 sightings.
Yeah. That's amazing. Oh, my gosh. Wow. She's got to get a big news story before she leaves town on Friday. That's incredible. What's your, before we take a break, Brad Stevens, KCTV5, Carolyn Long, his co-anchor, set to retire. What is your best Carolyn Long story?
She's a daredevil, and she will do anything. I mean, she's not afraid of heights. She's jumped out of airplanes. She jumped off the Strat Hotel in Las Vegas, which is like 800 feet up there.
I'll pass.
Yeah. She's just, frankly, she scares me. I mean, seriously, she is not afraid of anything. And she rappelled off the side of Arrowhead Stadium last year. She's always looking for just wild stuff to do. And so I'm always like, Carolyn, I'm good. I'll be staying home this weekend. She is a thrill seeker, daredevil, and that's one thing a lot of people don't know about her. But when you see my story on her career, we have a lot of these moments. That she's been with us through the years on air with her daredevil moments. So that's Carolyn Long, kind of the side you don't. Well, if you followed her career, you do know that about her, but a lot of people don't.
See, that's the one thing though. She's going to have to fill that void because, as you know, and I know, when that light goes on, there is a little bit of that adrenaline where it's like, I'm live.
Absolutely.
If I screw up, everyone will know it. This is not a podcast. This is not a recording. This
no
is live
TV.
Net. There's no safety net.
It's thrilling.
And there's a thrill to that, that those of us who do this seek. And even when we're doing it, we don't realize it's happening, but you get that little adrenaline from it. So she's got to fill that void.
No, she does. And we were just talking about that last night with sports anchor Neil Jones, who was. We were all talking about this. Neil's about a year away from retirement himself, and so they were talking about what are we going to do. And Luke Doris, our meteorologist, was saying, "I'm not worried about Carolyn. She's got so much energy in her body. She is always looking for the latest, greatest thing to do." He said, "You know what? She's going to have an unbelievable retirement, and she's not going to be bored at all."
Yeah, so she'll be jumping out of planes, it
probably.
Sounds like, and who knows what. Wow. All right, Brad, we're going to take a quick break. Brad Stevens, of course, anchor. You watch him every night on KCTV5. We've got much more on the news cycle in this town and more on him rolling through the 9 o'clock hour on KCMO. Brad Stevens is here, KCTV5 anchor, Feature Friday segment on KCMO. So, Brad, you're 20 years anchoring in this town. Yeah. This news cycle that we've got right now between the stadiums, the crime, unfortunately, just everything going on right now in our region, I feel like we are at an apex for covering news in Kansas City. Where does this stack up for you in your 20 years?
No, this is among the busiest and some of the most critical events happening in modern history in Kansas City. I mean, the decisions that are being made, not the decisions, but ultimately what comes out of decision or indecision by certain parties. And I'm really talking about the stadium issue. Think about how that's going to transform, no matter what happens. Think how that's going to transform Kansas City and different regions of the area. We know the Royals aren't going to stay where they are. They're moving somewhere. Don't know where yet. I'm still probably going to bet on Kansas. I'm just basing that on just little things I pick up here and there. That's don't take that to the bank.
No, trust me.
And the Chiefs, boy, I don't have any idea what's going on there. But man, they're both such huge decisions that will impact different regions. I mean, can you imagine if they would go out to the Legends area? To have NASCAR and Arrowhead out there, it's unbelievable to me that the state of Missouri, there's a chance that the Royals and the Chiefs are going to leave the state of Missouri and move to the state of Kansas. That is mind-blowing to me.
When I think about just this news cycle that we find ourselves in right now, too, the political players, let's be honest, we've gotten a year and a half of news out of that vote last April in Jackson County, right? That vote goes down. It was a gift to the news cycle and the news community in Kansas City. We've got a mayor who, whether you like him or you don't like him, is a huge personality, is active on social media, and that's good for business, too. We've got basically the right power players and the right storylines converging at a perfect time to cover news in this town, and that is pretty damn rare.
No, it is. There are we used to be at times in the news cycle, you go into the summer months and it's like, okay, what are we going to do? And all of a sudden, back in the 80s, and you'd be watching, fluff stories on 5 o'clock news, and boy, that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, and you got the World Cup coming.
Yeah,
and how is the world going to view Kansas City? How is Kansas City going to perform on not just a national stage, but an international stage? What are people going to think of Kansas City? Will we be viewed as Kansas City met the challenge, stood up to the challenge, and knocked that out of the park? Or are there going to be some stumbles along the way? You don't know. And these are all the things that and the politics of getting the World Cup. And you're right. This era of where we're at now, and then just the where we're at with national politics and how that converges on the Kansas City scene. It's a pretty special time to work in news.
You're right. So what's Brad Stevens got left in the tank? That's the $1 million question too. I've been thinking about here this morning.
We're discussing that right now at Channel 5.
Oh, are you?
Breaking news. Yeah.
All right. Hey, I'm available for 10%, man. Whatever you need, I can help you out. Okay, I'll get in there and ruffle some feathers for you.
You have helped us out in the past. We love when you come on for our political coverage with Sly, and you two get into it. That's fun on TV.
We try. Whenever you need that,
it's
man,
good
you just
TV.
Let me know. Hey, I don't know how Sly feels about it, but I walk out of there with a smile on my face because to me, the cameras go on, you're putting on a show, and then they go off, and I don't much care. Sometimes I think he gets a little pissed off at me, but, he can be a little ornery sometimes. He'll be the first one to tell you.
No, and what I love about that is it's genuine between you two. I mean, it's clear that you can see in his eyes when you'll bring up a topic or a point that he'll just be like, oh, man, Pete, I knew you were going to say that. And then he gets, like, disgusted. But no, when the red light goes off, no, there is truly with him, I feel there's, hey, no matter where you stand on the left side of the aisle or the right side of the aisle, when it's all said and done, you know what he really wants to, he just wants to talk about music and his kids and, you know, he wants to talk about nothing other than politics when he's off the air, which is, I find, refreshing.
We did get those oysters back in 2022, which he did Venmo me for after the fact. He pulled the old, I left my wallet up in the station.
Short-armed you.
But don't worry, he did Venmo me. I told that story on there. So we got reimbursement on that. But you're right. I mean, he does love talking about the music scene and things of that nature. So for you and the station as a whole, listen, you guys have some really good stability going, I think, in all your day parts right now, which I think the average Kansas City news consumer will say is something that has been rare for KCTV5.
Right.
So how do you see now the future? What are the plans now? Carolyn's leaving, of course. That's where we started the conversation. How do you feel like things are going right now there?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. So Carolyn's last newscast is next Friday at 5 o'clock. It's going to be special. So, you know, I invite you to join us for that as we bid her a super fond farewell. And then 10 o'clock that night, Lauren Magarino, who is my new co-anchor or will be my new co-anchor, that'll be her first newscast. She's been here on the air for a couple of months already. Her and Carolyn have a great relationship, which is just the way, we wanted it. We wanted a very smooth transition, and that's what's happened. Lauren worked on the Scripps national desk as a national anchor. Mm-hmm. She was born and raised in Miami. She went to the University of Missouri, so she's a Mizzou grad. Go Tigers. And she is going to be great. She's hit the ground running. She's a great reporter. She's a very good anchor. Her and I get along great. So the future's very bright.
That is
for KCTV5.
That's great. Well, we're looking forward to seeing her co-anchoring alongside Brad Stevens. I got 30 seconds. Your hometown is Ord?
Yes, Ord, Nebraska. Population 2,440.
Everything good in Ord?
Everything's great in Ord. Home of the Chanticleers. Ord. We still get back there.
Good.
My wife's the farm she grew up on. We still go back there and hang out on the farm and love it. I love getting back to Ord, Nebraska.
There you go. Hey, Brad, thanks for coming in, my man. We appreciate it.
Always appreciate it. Thank you.
Carolyn Long's last broadcast, KCTV5, after 28 years, coming up next Friday at 5 p.m.